So I'm becoming king of kings, and I've been doing a bit of an inventory and seeing what we've got, analysis of what we've got, basically. And so tonight's talk is going to be about sex, loneliness, and truth. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is men's sexuality. And men are divided into two categories, being there's homosexual men and there's men who are heterosexual. And they're very different. Just very different species of man. And a lot of homosexual men have taken to hiding their homosexuality and marrying women and creating very unpleasant living experiences for both of them. And so I'm going to make it real clear. By the time we're finished this talk this evening, you're going to know if you're a woman, if you're married to a homosexual man, and you're going to understand that if you're a homosexual man, it'd be useful for you to reveal the truth of this to everybody concerned and allow life to unfold in a truthful way rather than hiding, because this is hurting you, it's hurting everybody around you. You're miserable and you're making everybody in your family miserable. And you're beating women. This is why we have women's shelters. Heterosexual men rarely beat women. Well, that's not true. I've hit women twice in my life, but not on a regular basis. I mean, it's just, not something, most heterosexual men do. Because they love them so much. This is the thing, see. So I'm going to explain to you right now how, if you're a woman, how you can tell if you're married to a homosexual man. Okay? So, and it's very concrete, practical, where the rubber meets the road, no doubt about it, you got it, okay? So, if your husband or your boyfriend or your lover does not take great delight in going down on you and sucking your pussy until you come at least 2 or 3 times before he even thinks about entering you or having you have anything to do with him, because he knows his cum is guaranteed, understand? And so, what he's interested in is yours. And the better cum you have, the better cum he has. Understand? So he gets this. Heterosexual men get this, and so they make it their. They may not make it their business to make their wives happy in every other way, but they certainly make their wives happy sexually. And there's not many men like this around. There really are. So I think on a really good day we've got like 23%, depending on which study you view, of the women who are satisfied sexually. Think of this. In France and England and elsewhere lately, women were so frustrated they had to go to their doctors for orgasms. It was called feminine hysteria. They go to the doctor and he'd give them a cum, and they go back to their families. Can you imagine, as a man, can you imagine not coming for your whole life? Like, women are dependent on men for sexual fulfillment. I mean, they can masturbate themselves to orgasm, but it's not the same thing for them. And so they have a need of men. And so trying to get that need met with a homosexual man is an impossible thing, because he's married to you. He doesn't want to be, but there's some ulterior reason why he chose to do this in the first place, whether it's fear of exposing himself and looking to resemble a homosexual, like that's a bad thing, like there's something wrong with being homosexual, like God made a mistake when he created these people. Yeah, if you look throughout history, homosexual men have been some of the brightest people that have ever lived. And they had a time to cultivate that brilliance by virtue of the fact they didn't have 5 or 10 women hanging around them and kids and everything else to deal with. You understand? They were able to devote themselves exclusively to a single focused preoccupation, which netted the human race huge benefits. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, just to name a couple. So like, it's no mistake that people are homosexual, and there's very good reason for being homosexual, for men being homosexual in the past. I mean, you had warriors, you had to go search out the world, farm, go to, just all kinds of happenstance things happened to men, and so there was men who were designed to be kind of home with women and raising children, and other men to be out seeking adventure and what have you. So the men out seeking adventure were basically unfit female companions, and so They went and did whatever they did and enjoyed themselves doing it. But make people slaves and all kinds of shit. But those are homosexual men who are not truthful. Homosexual men who are truthful are called out of the closet in the homosexual world. Are some of the finest men I have ever met in my life. Like, real men. These men understand what being a man is. Understand? And like, they understand the value of honor and truth and trust in their friendships. Not that they can't get crazy and fucked up just like everybody else, but there's a basic fundamental difference, and that is that they're sharing the truth of themselves rather than the bullshit of themselves to the world. It makes a huge difference both in their spiritual altitude as well as their intelligence and all manner of other attributes that affect us all. And they're called metaphysical laws, but we'll get into the metaphysical law thing separately. This is an issue just about the concrete and practical realities of your relationships with each other. And so homosexual men do not make good fathers. My father is one, still living. And I grew up as a kid of a homosexual man, and it was a really tough fucking environment. And he hated my mother. He hated the fact that he was trapped in his family. And both of his wives complained to me about his poor sexual, abilities. So when the wives of your dad are complaining to you about your dad's lousy fucking, you gotta start to wonder, what's going on. And so, one of his brothers is as well a homosexual man, and he couldn't admit it for his whole life. He died just coming out of the closet about 78. So to live in that kind of terror and fear of the opinions of others, first of all, is foolish, because others are more concerned about what you think about them than they have any fucking investment in what they think about you. Like, they don't have an investment in what they think about themselves. Understand? So their investment in what they think about you is, we say, marginal at best. So, they really don't give a fuck about you. Truth to tell. So if you're worried about what other people think about you, don't be. They don't care. They really don't. It's hard to get that, because you may care about them a lot. You may care about all kinds of things about them. But you'll find that you speak the truth, and people really, they can be, no matter what it is. I'm homosexual, I like to fuck rhinoceros, whatever. And as long as it's not costing them anything, they'll be prepared to listen to you all day long. Get very interested in your story. But, anybody who's going to find fault with you for your sexual orientation is just basically a perverted little twerp who doesn't know any better, who hasn't got the wit to look at creation at all, just has the wit to look into his own little ego and worship whatever kind of configuration he's concocted for himself there. So anyway, the first thing you need to know is that if God hadn't have wanted certain people to be homosexual, they would not be homosexual. And a man knows he's homosexual when he fantasizes about having sex with boys. That's what homosexuality is. Heterosexuality is when men fantasize about having sex with women. And as men who have fantasies about having sex with boys want to suck their dicks and fuck them up the ass and everything else, the same is true with men with heterosexual women. They want to suck their pussies and fuck them up the ass and just blow their minds sexually. This is what a heterosexual man is. And if you're not married to one, if you're married to a homosexual man, divorce him. That's what's the problem. It's not you. You're not deficient. If he isn't hungry to be inside your pussy with his face and bring you to riotous orgasm at least twice before he entertains the idea of even thinking about his own, and you got yourself, if he's not a boy, like if he's over 14 or 15, say, if he's over 30 for sure, if this is the case, and the man's over 30 for sure, you're married to a homosexual man, let him go. It's, the odds of it working, I'd say, are remote. And he lied to you to begin with. There's There's no man that, by the age of 16 to 20 that doesn't, and is homosexual and doesn't know it. But I would say about 50% of the men who are homosexual are hiding it. About 40 to 50% of the population of this world are homosexual men. Not 7 or 10%. It's 40, 50%. And so there's a lot of confusion going on in your relationship. No trust at all because people are crazy and do insane fucking things. Well, a homosexual man married to a woman is going to hate her, resent her, to drive himself fucking nuts, blaming her secretly or overtly. Doesn't matter. Whatever thoughts you are having are going to show in your character and in your relations with others and your performance. So basically what I'm trying to say to you is here, kiddies, you don't get to do nothing for free. There's no point in hiding anything anymore. Because everything's coming out in the wash. Everything you stole, everything you lied about, everything. It's all coming up in the king's barf. So I suggest you get busy with it and worship the truth. Get your lives in some kind of order. Because right now you're dither fucking yourselves around, spinning your wheels, going no place, as fast and as hard as you can, and all you're doing is getting older and more dissatisfied with every breath you take, man and woman. And we'll deal with women's sexuality in our next talk, our next little tape. I don't think this one lasted very long, so it should be quick, to the point, and crisp. Men, do it. Do it. Worship the truth. And miracles will happen for you, I promise. Okay? If they don't, you can come and blame me, okay? In front of everybody. And I'll stand there and take it. I'd apologize to you. All right? And women, be gentle with these guys. Understand? There's no fault here. Understand? People got fucked up. The fault rests with anyone, rests with me. That's a long, long time ago. But you need to understand, you need to worship the truth. Pronto. Big things are happening, and I want to see you happy, mentally healthy, physically healthy, and spiritually healthy. That's my goal as a king. Okay? You can keep your money, okay, and your real estate. This is what I want from you.